everybody, here at McGuire Field. It's the start of the baseball season, and with me, Donnie again. Donnie, it's been a pretty good, interesting start of the season. You've got 2 losses under the belt. You thought you could get a big win, but things seem to bounce in the wrong direction. But you're playing a tough team today. You're playing St. Thomas. The Cadets come over here. It's a beautiful day for baseball. Your thoughts on this game before we start?
Well, our last couple of games, it seemed like a football game, so we're glad to be playing baseball again, actually. Baseball is a humbling game, and we're just ready to go. We just had a couple bad games, so now we're ready to go. We got a good opponent today, St. Thomas, so got a good day, so we're ready to go.
Yeah, St. Thomas, of course, lost yesterday, and you try to get them back-to-back. And as you said, you got a couple of really promising seniors and some sophomores and some juniors in the mix for this year's 1997 edition of the Packers of South St. Paul?
Yeah, we have basically 7 new position players, so we've made a lot of mistakes, and we expected that. We're just going to keep learning and get better. So we have a lot of new players. They're going to make mistakes, but the kids play hard, and they got a good attitude, so we're real optimistic. The conference is very balanced this year. No one's going to run away with it. One of the conference favorites, Woodbury, already lost 2 games, so there's a lot of parity in this league.
Donnie Gans, we'll come back with the starting lineup in today's game right after this, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this. Well, with me, Dick Spicer, the coach for the Cadets of St. Thomas. Woes, how can they be? Hardicks, as you said, Dick, 0-2 heading into the young portion of the season. Some thoughts so far, and how do you look forward to the game this afternoon?
Well, we thought this season would be very strong defensively and would not do well offensively. In the meantime, we've scored a lot of runs but given up more. I look at this afternoon's game with South St. Paul. It's 2 good hitting teams. Looks like there'll be a lot of runs today.
So it'll be more of an offensive game than a defensive game.
Well, it's been that way. I've asked our pitchers to throw strikes, and yesterday we had 7 walks and 7 hit batsmen. Hard to put 14 runners up the base and not get into trouble.
Dick Spicer, head coach for the Cadets of St. Thomas. We'll come back with the game right after this, everybody. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to McGuire Field on a beautiful afternoon, about 55 degrees, no breeze whatsoever. With me back in the catbird seat, as he always is. We've been over the last couple of seasons. Ken Onage. Kenny, glad to have you with us again.
Well, thanks, Lou. It is great to be back here on NBC. And quickly, we've got Todd Spicer with a 1-1 count, leading it off here for the Cadets.
Of course, as his dad was talking about, their 0-2 is here in the young part of the season. There's a ball again. Ball 2 and strike 1. Nobody out here. Top half of the first inning. As we said, Ken Onage, it's always good to have you with us. And thoughts on today's ball game?
Well, as Coach Spicer alluded to in the pregame there, we're probably going to see a lot of runs. St. Thomas lost a shootout yesterday with Woodbury 10-9. And again, as the coach said, they haven't been pitching very well, and so they've been relying more on their bats. And their 0-2 record would indicate that's probably not the way to win for them.
Well, the count right now to Spicer is 2 balls and 2 strikes, nobody on base. And battery for the Packers of South St. Paul. There's a grounder. Safe. Beats the ball. Spicer on first base. Nobody out. The battery for the Packers, as we said, Sager is the pitcher, LaMotta behind the plate. That's the battery for the South St. Paul Packers. Around the bases, Moon at third, Top at second, Coleman at first base, out in left field, Bjork, Ramirez over at center field, and Horst out in right field.
And that'll be an error on the shortstop, Steve Ryan, that time. And we were looking at them taking infield here before the game. A lot of players having trouble, a lot of bobbled balls, so that might be a factor today.
Short grounder to the first baseman, tosses it over wild. Runners will advance. Spicer goes over to third, and on the error from the pitcher to the first baseman.
That's our 2 batters, and they've already committed 2 errors. That'll go as a base hit for Beckman. A great bunt.
Beautiful bunt.
Pushed it right where you need to do, past the mound, and got it out towards the second baseman. he would have beat that out anyway, but throw went wild. Now they're second and third with nobody out. Of course, Lou saw St. Paul's had their troubles also. They're 0-2 and they're giving up a lot of runs also. So we may see some sloppy baseball this afternoon. Brings up
Coronado goes out to run for. I forgot the young man's name.
That was Beckman.
Beckman.
Third, nobody out. And for Brian Sager, the junior left-hander, his teammates haven't given him much to go on here in this right away here after the first 2 batters, 2 errors. He's in deep trouble now. With a 1-0 count on Swenson. There's a strike.
Right down the old pipe. Ball 1 and a strike on the batter. Count 1-1. Got base runners at second and third. Nobody out. Safe. Almost. I guess almost is almost. Anyways, still men on second and third. Nobody out. Count still 1-1.
There's a strike.
Strike right down the pipe. Looked like a fastball inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Batter with a 1-2 count. Lines up.
Sager hit him.
Hit him.
Holds him up. Packers see a lot of potential in Sager. He's been clocked in the low 80s last year when he was a sophomore. But he's just got to keep the control there. And
Bases are loaded with cadets.
not a good start for South St. Paul. We could be in for a long afternoon, Lou.
It certainly looks that way. Nobody out. Bases loaded for the cadets. Next batter up is the designated hitter, Iverson. Healthy cut by Iverson. Got a little bit of the wind from the airport over there. That's all about it. Was all he's got. Count no balls and a strike on a batter. Spicer at third. The other corner. Swenson. And of course, Beckman, who is out right now, and that at second is number 12. Catroni. So bases are loaded for the cadets. Hitting. Drives in the first run of the game. 1-0 lead for the cadets.
And the Packers haven't come close to getting anybody out yet, Lou. And Lamana will take a trip to the mound for the second time already. And Stager seems a bit rattled there early on. Again, just a junior.
Well, you try to get those jitters out. It's only the, third game of the season. Both of these clubs come in with a record of 0-2. And, of course, as we heard from Donnie Gantz and, of course, Dick Spicer, a lot of runs have come across over the last couple of games. And, you got to take the jitters out and you got to adjust a little bit. And that's what makes the game of baseball the way it is. Of course, it isn't helping the Packers right now as they find themselves down by 1. 1-0 lead for the cadets of St. Thomas High School. Want to remind you folks that join us every Wednesday night at 8:30 for our game of the week, and we'll be here all season long. Got a long season ahead of us, and of course, as I said, it's always glad to have Ken on and foul back, kind of no balls and a strike.
First baseman Kerrison up now. And again, Lou Sager really in a tough spot as infielders making 2 errors right away, including one he made himself, and that put him with runners in second and third with nobody out, and then he hit the back batters, and now it's gone 1-1. So it's kind of tough to shake those jitters when you have runners on base right away.
No, it certainly doesn't help the situation at all. Nice healthy cut there.
So it's right now.
Garrison, yeah, he a healthy swing. The count right now is 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 men on base. Bases are loaded for the Tommies. 1 run in and a couple of errors.
There's strike 3.
Healthy strike there. Strikes him out. Well, that'll be the first out of the game for the Tommies as they find themselves up again 1-0.
Yeah, it looks like that last visit to the mound settled Sager down a bit. It just has to bear down and go after these hitters. And again, you know, things don't always go your way, but if you keep throwing the ball over the plate, eventually you're going to get some outs. So you just got to bear down again, throw it across.
Well, I'll tell you one thing here. As you said, the walk to the mound settled Brian Sager down. Ball and no strikes on Finland.
Good hustle by Lamanna, getting up and chasing that one down quickly and holding the runner Cotroneo at third.
1 out. Base is still loaded for the Cadets. Top half of the first inning. Glad you could be with us here on our Suburban Conference Game of the Week. What's up?
Well, that should get a run in. Bjerken coming over. Oh, good throw.
Good throw. Behind the runner. Well, the Cadets go up another run as they lead here in the top half of the first inning, 2-0.
But now there's 2 outs, and you know the way this inning started, Lou, looked like the Cadets could put the big inning there, and if Sager can bear down here and get Lee, he'll just get out just giving up 2 runs, and that would be probably a moral victory for the Packers here in the first.
Next batter up, Lee. Sager winds up. Well, that ends the inning. At the end of a half inning, the Cadets 2 runs, no hits, and no errors, no runs, no hits, and 2 errors for the Packers of South St. Paul. A little thought on that first half inning, Kenny.
Well, Sager again doing a good job after his coach and his catcher to come out to the mound twice in that inning to settle him down. He a tough start for the Packers, but again Sager bearing down and got the big strikeout on Garrison for the first out, and that was big because the bases were still loaded. And then the sacrifice fly by Fenton, producing only just the second run of the inning, and it really looked like the Packers were going to be in deeper trouble than that with the bases loaded and nobody out. So, pretty good finish for the first inning after a rough start. Again, 2 errors in the first really got South St. Paul off to a pretty bad start. But now they're going to have to come back in their half of the inning and do some damage of their own.
Well, let's take a look at the defensive lineup for the Tommies of the Cadets of St. Thomas. Out in right field, it's Swenson, Wilhelmy in center field, Lee out there in right field. Out at third base is Hubbard, second base is Spicer, first base is Garrison, the Iverson, the pitcher, and Beckman, the catcher. So that's the battery. Iverson and Beckman, the battery for the Cadets of St. Thomas as they find themselves up 2-0 here at the bottom of the first inning. Just waiting for our first batter to come up for the Packers of South St. Paul. Sign way out there says "Go Packers." You know,
it was out there.
It's still out there. I can see it. It's at about the 340 mark. It says "Go Packers." Some of the cars parked along the fence line out there. It's, I guess, a what do they call those kind of a football game? Everybody's out there enjoying
tailgating.
Tailgate, yeah. They're having a little tailgate
Oh,
party.
it's good weather. Best weather we've had in quite a while.
Nice crowd on hand here for the first of our many broadcasts here on NDC.
They know we're here.
Yeah, they know we're here, we're there, we're everywhere. So how have you been, Kenny?
Well, not bad. Enjoying what we had for good weather there a couple weeks ago, and trying to wish spring to come.
Well, it certainly looks like a beautiful spring day out here today. I'd say the temperature is close in the 50s. Really no kind of wind. Yesterday it was snow and a little flurries got up, and I says, oh, well, we're back to winter again.
Well, spring officially does arrive when we start our baseball season here on NDC, so
It's here.
The powers that be up above know it's time to start.
Well, L'Amato will be the first batter. He is the part of the battery. He's the catcher for the Packers. Strike right down the pipe. Fastball in right down the old pipe, and it's a strike one count on L'Amato, the catcher for the Packers of South St. Paul. Six to 3 if you're keeping count at home. One away for the Packers. Next batter up, Ramirez. Ramirez out there in center field. He'll be the next batter. Where's number 14? And, of course, Ramirez is the senior. He's a three-sport for 2+ years. He's the co-captain for the Packers. Outside and high, ball one.
And again, Iverson working very quickly out there, and just would like to see us throwing strikes.
Nice scoop there by the third baseman. Long throw, plenty of time, and Ramirez, he is out.
That was a nice
5 to 3 on that. So with two swings of the bat, 2 out, and our next batter up.
Cooper with a nice scoop there. That was a low skipping ground ball, and he just had to snare it. What a good play.
Third baseman Ryan, he'll come up to bat. Wears number 11 for the Packers. 2 outs, nobody on. 2-0 lead for the Cadets of St. Thomas. You hear the planes out here flying, so everybody's having a good time, I
right
hope.
near the airport.
Another.
Wow.
Nice. 4 to 3. Well, at the end of one inning, the Cadets find themselves up 2-0. 2 runs, no hits, no errors. No runs, no hits, and 2 errors charged against the Packers. So that's where we sit right now as we go to the second inning, and a pretty quick inning for the Cadets of St. Thomas. 1-2-3 inning for them. And
That's the kind of inning that Coach Spicer would want out of Iverson right away. Again, the pitching has not been good for the Cadets, and he comes right out there and gets 3 good ground ball outs. And keeping the ball on the ground is probably the best thing for him to do today. And
get an opportunity to see Sager as he's does a little warm up before number 9. Excuse me, Huppert, he'll come up. The next batter up. Hubert is the third baseman for the Cadets. You saw him on that last play, so he gets rewarded, and he'll be the first batter up here, the top half of the second inning. 2-0 lead for the Cadets.
that was a nice arranging play by Fenland in the inning there. He had a couple of high hops, but he got behind second base quickly and made a good throw. And we'll see if Sager is still settled down after having his troubles in the first inning.
Hubbard strike. Right down Whiskey River Alley there, boy, I'll tell you. It was right down the old pipe, or as they would say, down the flooded Mississippi. Strike one on the batter. Little grounder. Upward with a nice hit through the bag, through the hole, and a first hit of the game.
That was hit just hard enough to get past Moon after the diving attempt.
Moon made a nice attempt on the ball. Man on first base. Nobody out here on the top of the second inning.
That's towards the hole. Back-to-back hits there. That was hit hard through the hole.
And men on first and second, still nobody out. Sager running into that same situation he found way back in the first inning as he gave up a couple of runs. We got a couple of base runners on first and second.
Well, he's keeping the ball on the ground, Lou, and that's going to be the key because you keep getting ground balls. Nice block by LaManna.
Nice running by Hubert as he steals the base. Runners move up. Double steal there, actually. So.
Ball just got it away from LaManna. Second time he's had to chase one down, and now the Packers will bring the infield in, trying to cut off the run. And again, going back to what I was saying, Lou, if a pitcher can keep balls on the ground, eventually it's going to help him because not all those are going to find the hole. Most of them are going to find a fielder who can make a play on them.
Spicer holding his own right there.
So again, Sager finding himself in the same situation he was last inning, second and third with nobody out. Now he's got 3 balls and no strikes to Spicer.
Well, there's a strike right there. Count of 3-1. Runners at second and third. Hooper at third. Well, mainly at second. Ball 4 on Spicer. Well, that'll load the bases with Bachman coming up. Oh.
And this is the situation that
Just as
Donnie
it was
Gang
back in the top half of the first inning.
Coach Donnie Gang did not want his team in this situation again because, again, he still has to play with his the quarterman playing in, try to cut off and get the force at home, and then Ryan at short and top at second, playing for the double play.
Bases are loaded. Nobody out here. Foul back.
And Sager's just going to have to do what he did last inning, is just bear down and throw strikes.
Any kind of slow roller or grounder, I would imagine it would go to home on that, trying to cut off the run.
Straight up in the air.
One out. Sager on that.
Well, that was a straight up into the sun pop-up. And
fly out one on that. So you fans are keeping the track back at
so that's a big out, Lou. Last inning with the bases loaded and nobody out, he got the strikeout on Karrison, and now he gets Beckman to pop straight up, and now they can move back and try for the double play.
Well, the infield fly rule is in effect there anyway, so it's going to really make a difference. Well, maybe to some people it would.
Well, anytime you can get it out without the runners advancing, that's in that situation almost certain of most. Oh, nice try. Come on. They got a chance at it. Oh, and they threw it away.
Runner comes in, so now the score is
4-0.
4-0. 2 outs on that. think there's two, isn't it? Am I right on that?
There's one out. There are 2 outs now. Yeah, they got the Forrest. And,
Got the Forrest at second.
Top tried to go for the double play, but the runner at first, Spicer, made a nice job breaking that up and forcing Top to throw it into the dugout, and that's the third error for the Packers, and now they're down.
And those errors will
4-0.
come back and haunt you. 2 in the first and 2 more here. So
They've only put up one of those runs though, Lou, and it should be 4-0. The scoreboard shows 3-0.
should be 2 outs in a run. So it should be 4-0 instead of 3-0 and 2 outs.
Instead of 1, all right. Ooh, just below the knee. That was close. So again, Sager's defense failing him at that critical time. Got him into trouble in the first, and there they put it up. Give up a couple runs here in the second.
Big strike there. Count of 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. Score is, well, they put it up 4-0. A couple of runs coming here in the top of the second inning and 2 back in the first.
And walked him. That's the second walk of the inning. Plus he hit 2 batters in the first, so he's given 4 free passes here in the first 2 innings.
Next batter up.
That's Karrison, who struck out in the first inning.
Well, we've got a men on first and second. They still haven't put that second out up, but should be 2 outs.
There are 2 outs. Nice pickoff.
Well, at the end of an inning and a half, the Cadets find themselves up 4-0. 4 runs, 2 hits, and no errors. No runs, no hits, and 4 errors. And that's where we sit going in the bottom half of the second inning here at McGuire Field. And as the coaches said earlier in our interviews, especially Dick Spicer, he said that it will be a lot of runs scored in this game, and certainly it starts out that way. Four runs. It's pretty tough to come back from a 4-run deficit, they being the Packers, but I've seen stranger things happen in baseball games.
Well, from what we saw from Iverson on the mound in the first inning, he had some good stuff and got some ground ball outs, and if he can keep doing that, it will be tough for the Packers to come back. But again, South St. Paul dug themselves a hole. They had 3 errors in the first 2 innings, and you can't make that many mistakes and expect to win. And what they've got to do right now is get their pitcher to settle down a little bit, and then make the plays, get in front of the ball, and make some good, strong throws. Try to keep themselves within this 4-run deficit.
Well, Beckman looks real strong on the mound. He winds up as he's doing some waiting for the batter to come up, getting his final tosses in.
And he didn't throw too many pitches in that first inning.
Oh, no.
He was getting
if he threw 10 pitches, he threw a lot. He was real quick. Well, the next batter up, number 17, Tim Horst. Horst will be coming up. Horst is the right fielder, and
he was an all-conference selection in hockey over the winter. So he is a pretty good athlete.
He's a three varsity sportsman himself. So. Wind up. How to play.
Horst has got to try to get something out over the plate so he can get around on it.
Ball 2 and a strike on Horst. Horst has got some nice.
That time.
He's got nice rotation. You can just watch him. He just nothing real fancy about him, but he gets the work done. He's got a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
There's strike 2.
Right across the outside corner, and that's
Boy.
a strikeout.
After he got behind 2-0, Lou, he bared down, came back and got him. So now, one out, he's retired the first 4 that he's faced. And I'll bring up the second baseman, Matt Top, one of the 10 juniors on this Packers squad. And so they could have a good experienced lineup come next year. Oh, they're ground ball out.
Top, he'll go 4-3 on that. 2 away.
First pitch swing, and again, if you're pitcher, you're getting it over, and they know you're going to get it over on the first pitch. You know, it helps these guys out, and they swing the bat, and that'll help you out as a pitcher.
Next man up is number 23. That's Moon. Ball 1 on him. Only a couple of hits so far in this game, isn't it?
Well, St. Thomas has 3, and of course, South St. Paul still looking for their first base runner, and there's strike 1. Well, so far, Iverson's getting the best of these South St. Paul batters. They,
baseball a lot, or no? What do you think? Can I
so they,
comments for the school paper?
not right now. After this half inning. Ball tip.
Ball right back into the... Well, you know,
Always in demand.
Always in demand. Always in demand to be interviewed at the wrong time. But that's part of the business, I guess.
1 and 2 count. Yeah, there's the first Packer.
First hit of the game for the Packers. Matt just nice healthy cut on that.
Moon, another one of those 3-sport athletes. And again, just a junior. So this South St. Paul team is going to have a lot of seniors coming back next year. And if they can get some good experience here and get some good pitching, they can probably do some damage this year as well. Both these teams have players that can swing the bat. Nick Bjerken steps in. Zion a runner. Right to center. That Wilhelm will make the catch.
Well, at the end of 2 innings of play, the Packers find themselves down by 4 runs. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors, no runs, 1 hit, and 4 errors. We'll take a break, come back with more action from McGuire Field with yours truly, Ken Onage and Lou Michaels, bringing you all the excitement. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back right after this. We're back, everybody, and with me, Ken Onage and yours truly, Lou Michaels. Carrison, the next batter up for the Cadets of St. Thomas. They lead 4-0. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors, no runs, 1 hit, and 4 errors for the Packers going into the top of the 3rd inning. Any thoughts on that, Kenny?
Well, again,
Or is too many?
well, Sager's got to start throwing strikes here pretty soon, or he's going to really put his team in a hole again. And he's got to do it. Iverson for St. Thomas has been just throwing strikes and getting the Packers to hit ground balls. And Sager could take some of that advice and do that. But again, he's just got to let the Cadets put the ball in play and let his teammates make the plays for him. And right now he's not doing that. He issued 2 walks last inning and he hit 2 batters in the first. So he's kind of been erratic. And that's why his team is down 4-0. And there's his 3rd walk of the day right there.
Garrison, he'll get a ride free down to first base.
That's the 5th free pass today. And we're only in the top of the 3rd. And that could make for a long day.
Coming to bat now. There's number 10.
He's throwing a lot of pitches, Lou. And Danny Ging may have to think about taking him out of there because he's really had some trouble. Fenlon did some damage in his first at bat. He had a sacrifice fly that run batted in. Gave them the 2-0 lead back in the first.
Well, the action is really 2 strikes on the batter. And of course, Garrison is at first base. Takes a little lead off of first. Fenlon 0-2 count on him.
A little bit low.
2-2 on the batter.
I think Sager had Karrison fooled on that one. Karrison running back towards the bag, thinking that Sager was going to throw over.
4 runs for the Cadets right now as they lead 4-0. Ball back to the backstop. Still a kind of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fenlon goes over and talks to the coach over at third base, getting some kind of signals, trying to get the signal straight.
Time just to protect the plate here. 1-2 count. If he can't get that runner into scoring position.
Out. Garrison trying to steal second, thrown out. From 2-6
on the putout.
2-6 on the putout. If you're keeping track at the
well,
house.
That's the second base runner that the Cadets have had thrown out. Of course, Salvato got picked off first and the second inning.
Well, that's the second out of this inning.
So quickly, Sager's gotten himself
back into some kind of motion. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Well, when your catcher makes a good throw and picks off a runner like that, it really does help the confidence of everybody out there. And he's just gonna just keep throwing strikes. And he's still having trouble doing that, though.
He certainly does. I'll tell you, the
one hopping in somebody's flatbed picture in the back of somebody's pickup.
free ball for somebody. Ball and a strike, 2 outs here, top of the 3rd inning for the Cadets of St. Thomas. Ball, looking like he wanted a swing on that. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs.
He's having trouble getting into any kind of rhythm, Louise. Every time he throws a couple pitches over, then he sort of slips and falls back into that groove where he's throwing it in the dirt. Another
Ball
walk.
4 gets a walk. So that will take
2nd of the inning, 4th of the game. Hooper will get his chance here with 2 out.
Now this is who we got up the
That's the 3rd baseman Hooper, and he takes a strike. Sager can throw it over, but he just has to prove that he can do it consistently.
foul ball.
Not safe to park along
I know
the
my
right
car
field
is
line.
right behind us, and been lucky so far. I don't want to say anything anymore.
Those people out in left field are probably a little bit better off than
Well,
those of us who are
I'll
back
tell you
here.
one thing, they've got a barbecue going over there. I can see. I hope they save us a couple of hot dogs and with some mustard and some ketchup and some onions. That's what I want. I'll get my order in right away.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Ball
Nothing
back.
Nothing like baseball and a barbecue.
Baseball, barbecue, and a great hot doggy. My, hot doggy time.
You can smell that all the way over here.
Yeah.
The dirt again.
Still a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Still 4-0 lead for the Cadets. 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd. Oh! I heard that one, folks. That took out a quarter panel from somebody from South St. Paul.
Another one in the dirt.
2-2 on the batter.
There we go, right in the corner.
Struck him out. Pretty good inning for Sager. Ran into a couple of problems, but got out of it. So at the end of 2.5 innings here, the Cadets 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors, no runs, 1 hit, and 4 errors. And it is a 4-0 lead. Kenny, it started out like it was going to be a battle of shooting, gunning and shooting. And now it's sort of slowed down a little bit. And only 4 runs have come across, and it's a 4-0 lead. And I guess.
Well, that inning might, even though he gave up 2 outs, and that might be a little bit of a confidence booster for Sager. They only had 1 runner on at a time, didn't get anybody past first base, and he's had his troubles in the first 3, but he's just gotta throw it over. He's just hasn't had the consistency on the mound. On the other side though, Iverson here has had 2 very good innings, and if he can keep up what he's doing, he can.
Yeah, he's only given up 1 hit, and that was not a cheap hit. It was a hit.
It was a solid hit, but again, it was on the ground, and keeping the ball on the ground. again, it's going to keep helping him if he can keep the Packers hitting ground balls. He's going to get a lot of outs, and it's going to give his team a good chance to win. And so far, he's done that. As Matt Mesa will step in here to designate a hitter, leading off the Packers third.
Well, we're back to action here. Number 19 coming up. Mesa.
Again, Iverson getting ahead once again. And again, what you see on the bench will give, from the pitcher, will give him a reputation. If he's going to throw strikes, you've got to go up there hacking, and that's what Mesa's doing. And there we get him on a strikeout, strike 3. So Mesa goes down on 3 pitches, and that will bring up the number 9 hitter. That's George Coleman. Was an honorable mention all-conference in baseball last season. Yeah, there's a big cut and a miss. Iverson throwing strikes, and the Packers having to go up there with the mindset that I've got to swing the bat, otherwise I'm not going to see anything good from him, because I'll be behind in the count. So the 0-1 delivery. High. Coleman, a first baseman and also a left-handed starting pitcher. We had the opportunity to see him a couple times last year here on NDC, and did a pretty decent job. We had him out in front that time as he swung and missed, and it's 1-2. Again, 4-0 Cadets. They got 2 in the first and 2 in the second. And now they're at the bottom of the third. There's another strikeout. Back-to-back case for Iverson, and there's 2 away. Coleman fooled again on the off-speed pitch. And we'll turn the lineup over and bring us Dan LaManna. Starting catcher, 0 for 1, grounded to short his first time. Another strike. Iverson doing what his counterpart Sager cannot, throw the ball over the plate on a consistent basis. And that's something that his coach Dick Spicer has been looking for here early in the season. Hasn't had the best pitching, but he's gotten 2 2/3 of solid work out of his hurler today. Giving up just the 1 hit last inning to Matt Moon. With a 2-out hit, and it never gave the Packers anything of a threat. And there's a line drive. That's a just foul down the right field line. So it's still 0-2. Got a pretty spacious confines here at McGuire Field. 312 down the lines in left and right. 340 in the power alleys in right center and left center, and 360 to straightaway center. So a lot of room out there in the outfield. There's another 0-2 pitch. And the off speed is high, and that's 1-2. So Iverson, 2 2/3 innings, 1 hit, no walks, 3 strikeouts. And there's a ground ball right back to the mound. Easy play, and another 1-2-3 inning for Iverson. And the Cadets lead it 4-0 here after 3 complete. No runs, 2 hits, or no runs, 1 hit, and 4 errors for the Packers. And for the Cadets, 4 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. So once again, Iverson working quickly and getting his team back in the dugout so they can swing the bats once again as we move to the 4th. And they'll have Wilhelmy, Spicer, and Beckman due up for St. Thomas. And Sager back out there on the mound. He's been a little bit wild, Lou, but he's got a chance here to keep his team in the game if he can bear down and throw strikes.
Well, you know, he had a rough couple of first and second inning, giving up a couple of runs. 2 runs, 2 hits in the first inning, and another 2 hits and 2 runs in the second inning. But he has really turned his rotation around a little bit, his oomph, and he's playing more solid of a game as we go more into the game. We're into the top of the 4th inning right now, and it's still a 4-0 lead, but you know, the game isn't over until it's over, so said Yogi. And I'll tell
Well, if he can start throwing strikes, Lou, he's had his troubles. He's missed mostly when he's missed down in the dirt. He's got to make sure he keeps that ball up a little bit more. And again, he starts one in the dirt. And he seems a little bit out of control on the mound. He's again falling off as left-handers normally do towards the third base side, but he seems to be might be rushing his delivery a little bit.
next batter up here is
that's the center fielder Wilhelmy. He singled and scored back in the second inning. There's a strike.
Right down the pipe. 2 balls and a strike on Wilhelmy. Two and 2. Ryan Sager really bearing down right now. Top of the 4th inning.
Well, there's a new one for Sager, Lou. He comes through and gets the first batter of the inning instead of starting off with a base runner. So
Pop up 3 if you're keeping score at home. So
1 up and 1 down for the first time this afternoon for the Cadets.
and here comes number 7, Spicer. Boy, is he getting into the mode now.
Just needs to take his time. Let's look for that big target that LaManna's giving him now. Again, getting out of that last inning in the 3rd without giving up any runs really helped him out. Just a little bit low.
1 ball, 2 strikes on the batter. 1 away here in the top of the 4th inning. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors, no runs, 1 hit, and 4 errors as we. Spicer with a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out here on the top of the 4th inning. A Suburban Conference game. Glad you could be with us here on NDC. Don't forget to join us every Wednesday night, 8:30. Set your clocks to watch NDC South Suburban Conference baseball, and also girls softball will be part of our program this year. Again, in the truck, Eric Johnson, as he always does a great job, and of course all the guys that are helping us out here on the crew. Well, that was caught by somebody out there in Inver Grove Heights. Caught that ball on a bicycle heading west into the sunset, I guess. Yeah, I guess we have fun here, Kenny.
Oh, yeah. Got him.
Got him looking, pulled the string. 2 outs. Coming up, number 3. Bachman.
Spicer caught Sproles, and he's locked up on him with a full count, and
Bachman is the catcher for the Tommy.
there we go.
There it is. Right down the old pipe. Sounded like a Yogi Berra phrase. Got to get him when I can get him. I presume that's Bachman's mother who's out there taking snapshots of son, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not, no. In fact, the Packers had their team picture taken before the game, and they were out there on the middle of the infield.
They asked us, they wanted to take our pictures, but the guy said he had to have a special lens used for me, so I just told him to forget about it. He said he had to go way back to where the scoreboard was to get me in there, so I said forget about it, and I went on my way.
Well, nobody likes to see us anyway.
You like my new hairdo? I'm letting it grow
Well,
back.
you're letting it grow back. That's
Well, a 1-2-3 inning as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors, no runs, 1 hit and 4 errors as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Kenny, I'll tell you, as we said, this thing started out as a gun battle. Four runs in the first 2 innings, and it looked like the Cadets were just going to put a lot of runs on the board. And as Coach Spicer said, the last 2 games that they played has been just a slugfest. As you said yesterday, they played Woodbury and lost 10-9. So a lot of runs came across here. What a difference 24 hours makes from snowing yesterday to the sunshine today. Wait long enough and you'll probably see baseballs come out of the sky.
well, again, Lou, South St. Paul has done a much better job in the last 2 innings of making good plays and concentrating when the balls are hit to them. Again, they had the 3 errors in the first 2 innings, and that cost them really cost them this 4 runs that they've given up. And now Sager again having a big confidence boost in the 3rd inning, not allowing any runs, and he came right back in the 4th and got 1, 2, 3, and now we may settle into a bit of a pitcher's duel here for the last 3.5. So we've got Ramirez, Ryan, and Horst due up for the Packers, and we'll see if Iverson can continue his string of good innings here. And as again, as Coach Spicer said before the game, he needs better. You need to have good pitching, and that's something they hadn't had in the first couple of games. And coming into the season, both of these coaches had thought that they would get some production on the mound, and in the first couple of games that hasn't been the case. But so far today, Iverson's proven himself to be a worthy starter, and Sager in the last couple innings has settled down and done a heck of a job.
Well, Ramirez will be coming up to bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors, no runs, 1 hit, and 4 errors. Foul ball. Somebody out there in West St. Paul, a lucky winner of a baseball, a foul ball off the bat of Ramirez here on a beautiful sunshiny afternoon. Glad you could be with us here on NDC. Ken Onage and yours truly, the mound man. Foul out of play. A couple of young guys out here right in front of us. Got a ball and glove in hand. I guess baseball doesn't make a difference how old or how young you are. It's baseball. It is. Baseball is here.
And it's time to get out and play. That sun is actually warming things up out here real nice.
They said something about it. Ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I don't know, though. I think this might be the first time we've seen Iverson go to a 3-ball count here. So Ramirez is making him work.
We're in compliance. Ball back behind the backstop.
First one.
All four for Ramirez. He'll trot 90 feet down to first base.
And that was a good
The
at bat.
second time we've seen runners at first base for the Packers today.
That was a fine at bat by Ramirez. Fouled off a couple pitches to stay alive and got the walk. And I think we saw Iverson throw more pitches in that at bat than I think he did in the last inning.
Well, coming up to bat now, number 11, the shortstop, Steve Ryan. Ryan will be coming up. Shortstop. Ball one.
No, he was wondering where you were. Yeah, he was just curious. Okay. I didn't bail out.
Right on a corner there, strike for Iverson.
Ryan 0 for 1.
No
Runner to
outs
short.
here. And at first is Ramirez. Count of 1-1. Tosses over to first. Ramirez back in time.
I found that one camera where that 455. I went to one ball game.
Pitch is up high. 2-1.
Like putting it on.
So Iverson having a little trouble throwing strikes here.
You could follow the ball, and that's really.
Ramirez only the second runner to reach base. The other one was Moon back in the second with a base hit. And now it's 3-1. Ramirez will trample down to second on a pass ball. So charge that pass ball to Beckman.
We're going to go to a break at the end of this inning.
And now the count moving to 3-1 on Ryan. Ryan, one of the crop of juniors on this South St. Paul roster, 10 of them, along with 7 seniors and 1 sophomore. So a junior-dominated roster. Yeah, there's strike 2. Big cut.
2-2 on a batter right now. As you said, a dominated sophomore, or a dominated junior team. 10 juniors, 7 seniors, and 1 sophomore.
There he
Struck
comes
him
back.
out. Next batter up, number 17. That's Horst.
Horst is again 0 for 1. Just
Horst
about
is out
everybody
there.
else.
Right field today.
He struck out.
defensive one.
He struck out back in the second. And, that strikeout on Ryan is the 4th today for Iverson to go along with 1 walk. So he's had a pretty good day on the mound.
Boy, I can certainly smell of them hot dogs roasting across the field over there. Way out there at the 340 mark, they must be roasting some hot dogs. I'm going to see if I can get my hands on one after the ball game. Or maybe take a dozen back home with me. Must be one of those great Packer fans.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you, those folks are having a good time. Having a tailgate party out there.
Well, they've seen some good pitching here from Iverson. Holds Ramirez nicely.
1-3, keeping score on that.
Stared Ramirez right in the eyes and held him at second. So now
2 outs.
Packers really need Top to come through here with a base hit. Base hit should score Ramirez from second.
Tops. Matt Tops, the batter in.
Iverson he just continues to throw it over the plate. And
That's where you have to throw it, over the plate. We know that anyway. 1-1 on a batter on Tops.
Moon is on deck. Moon, the only the only Packer to get a hit so far.
Back in the second inning, he was out 4-3.
A high hopper. Nice play. Oh. High throw, but I do believe Top would have beaten that out anyway, so that's a base hit. Second hit for the Packers. Ramirez moving to third now, and Moon will get his chance to knock in a run here.
I got him at the corners for the Packers of South St. Paul. No runs for them so far. 4 for the Cadets of St. Thomas as they come over here to play their hometown South St. Paul Packers. Packers, as we said, find themselves down by a 4-0 lead here. Moon, count of 1-1, huh?
Ooh, that was
1-1
just a
on
little
him
bit
now.
high. And we just let Top take that one. Not even a throw, and so now if Moon can get a base hit, he should be able to drive in two. Top at second, along with Ramirez at third. They both have pretty good speed. But now Moon is in a hole here, 1-2 with a 1-2 count.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Men at second and third for the Packers here on a gorgeous afternoon of baseball. I'd have to say it's got to be in the mid-50s. No wind whatsoever, or very little. Has no effect upon the balls going out into right or left or center field this afternoon.
There it is. That's over the head. Spicer at second. That's going to score both runs. Boone is 2 for 2, and he knocks in 2 runs, cuts the lead in half, 4-2.
It's the third hit of this inning. Third hit. If I'm correct on that.
That's the third Packer hit. That's the second of the inning.
Second in the inning.
First 2 runs, another clutch hit by Moon, and he's 2 for 2. And the Packers finally get on the board here in the fourth. Wild pitch. And Moon moves up to second here. So Iverson probably needs to settle down himself now.
Moon is getting up and stretching a little bit. Sonny Kens goes out to take a look at this player and then goes back to the dugout.
Well, Spicer was at the bag when that throw came down from Beckman, but might have had a little bit of a collision with Moon, so Matt will have to take his time and just stretch it back out, and we'll be ready to go back and play some more ball here. Still, there's 2 outs.
2 outs.
And they're going to send in a runner. That's Mark Reese, number 18. He'll go in and run for Moon. Don't know if Moon will stay in the game.
Well, Reese will probably stay in for Moon, I would imagine.
So Bjerken will step in 0 for 1. Fly ball to center his first time. That's a base hit. Reese will round third. He's going to try to score. Throw is late.
safe on that.
And it's 4-3.
Good base running on that. From second coming in. Well, now they've narrowed the lead to a 4-3. Third hit of the inning.
And all this, Lou, with 2 outs, back-to-back clutch base hits by Moon and Birkin, mixed into the wild pitch, and you got a 4-3 game when it was 4-0. So the Packers are right back in it now. And the Packers this inning have really taken Iverson out of his rhythm. He's after those couple of hits, he's really having trouble throwing strikes now. Looper, the head fell in. They may send the runner in. Birkin around third. Here comes the throw, and he is out. Oh,
Ties it
he
up.
sure looked like the throw was there, but he slid
I'd like
underneath
to
the
see that
tag.
on a replay. I'll tell you, great.
That was very close. It sure looked to me like they got tagged down there, but
I wish we had a replay on that. I would like to see that.
the run scores, and that ties it up at 4.
I'll have to come over here next week and watch the game and see if it was close. Anyways. Well, after a couple of base hits, the well came tumbling down.
And Iverson will leave now. He's responsible for the runner at first, Mesa,
Number 19.
but he gave up 4 straight hits, and number 19, that's Campion, will come in. So Iverson leaves after pitching 3 2/3. So far he's given up 4 runs and 5 hits. Walked 1, and he struck out 4. And the pitchers today, Lou, you can see the pattern. Have had trouble when they let the lead runner get on. And this inning, Iverson walked LaMotta to lead it off, and that sort of crumbled things after he got a couple outs here. He gave up 4 straight hits, and that let the Packers tie it up here. And on the other side, Sager again, he had got into trouble in the first 2 innings, letting the first batter on base and giving up 4 runs himself. And so Campion will be called upon here to try to close it out. Well, back at Lorraine Park here in South St. Paul, Ken Unch, along with Lou Michaels here. It's 4-4, South St. Paul and St. Thomas tied up here in St. Paul Suburban Conference baseball. The new pitcher is Ted Snaza, number 2 for the Packers. And he delivers low to the leadoff batter, Swenson. Swenson is over 2, got hit by but he's been on twice, got hit by a pitch in the first and reached on an error in the second. And Snaza delivers low again, 2-0. Again, two runs in the first and 2 runs in the second for the Cadets. They haven't put anybody across since then. And ball 3. And the Packers exploding for 4 in the bottom of the 4th. There's a strike. Take a look at the final numbers on Brian Sager. 4 innings pitched, gave up 4 runs and 3 hits. His team committed 3 errors behind him, and he walked 5, including 2 hit batsmen, and he struck out 3. So not the best of outings for Brian Sager, but he settled down and kept them off the board in the 3rd and 4th and gave his team the opportunity to get back in the game, which they did. 3-2 pitch, struck him out. 1 up and 1 down, and that'll bring up the DH, Salvato. And we'll tell you here what we can about Ted Snaza. Plays some outfield and some second base for Coach Donnie Gang. And he delivers. There's a Second. Oh, and a great leaping grab out and left
Nice
by
catch on
Dick
that, boy. I'll tell
Bjerken.
you.
That was on a line, and that was headed towards the gap, but Bjerken tracked it down and reached up and made the catch.
Just like radar. Nice catch. Nice stab of the ball. Bjerken.
I tell you, you can't hit it any harder than that, Lou. But quickly, Snaza's come in and gotten 2 quick outs. And that brings up Garrison, who was 0 for 1 with a walk.
He's a senior. Snaza. And really, there's no stats on the young man, but certainly, as you said, he's come in and got 2 quick outs.
Again, giving the Cadets a little bit different look. He's got almost a sidearm delivery. Garrison wanted time, and he got it. He's got that 3/4 delivery, and it's kind of got a hitch in his motion, but a little bit different look from Sager. And the 0-2 is up high. Throwing quite a bit of off speed to Garrison. Try to get him out front. 1-2 delivery. Struck him out with a nice sidearm.
Came in and did the job that he was supposed to do, Snaza, and gets out of that inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. And as we go into the bottom half of the 5th inning here, it is still all tied 4-4. Kenny, as we have said all afternoon, it seemed like the Cadets came out here with 2 things in mind: to put some runs on and possibly go home with their first win of the season. But somewhere down the line, the dike broke. As we said, water all over the place here in southern Minnesota. Certainly the dike broke here at McGuire Field back in the bottom half of the 4th inning. 4 runs come across, 4 hits, 5 altogether right now for the Packers of South St. Paul High School. And certainly they've turned the tide and plugged the dike up. But Sneeza helping in that situation. And certainly it's been a twist of events, as we both concurred, a 4-0 lead at the end of 2 innings, and it's now all tied up 4-4 as we go into the bottom half of the 5th inning. So your thoughts?
Well, the situation is kind of reversed from the beginning of the game. The Packers were having trouble getting outs and making mistakes, and for the Cadets, they were breezing along and only gave up 1 hit and 1 base runner through the first 3 innings, and now all of a sudden in the bottom of the 4th, things have changed around.
The dike
broke open, and then
broke open, 4 runs come across, and that's where we sit at, everybody, as we come back into the bottom half of the 5th inning. Here we're all tied up. I'm going to turn it back over to Ken Honage to do a little bit more of play-by-play with yours truly, the Round Mountain Sports Hound, Lou Michaels.
All right, back at the top of the order, and Dan LaManna, 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice, once to short and once right back to the mound. And Campion will deliver a little bit low. So Snaza coming in for the Packers and doing exactly what they needed him to do, is get 3 quick outs and put the team right back in the dugout where they can swing the bat some more. Straight back, 1-1. Again, Campion coming in and getting a fly out at the end of to win the Packer 4th, and now he's got to pick up where Iverson had started. The looper, nearly caught by Lee. Good hustle there by LaManna to get into second base. A bloop double by LaManna. Excellent attempt by Lee, coming all the way over from his spot in right field. Nearly caught it, had it in his glove, but it popped out, and the Packers again have their lead runner on base. So again, the Packers starting a threat here. Fielder's looking for the bunt. Harrison charging as the pitch was a ball. Good fundamental baseball here is if Ramirez can get that runner over to third. And then the next batter would be Ryan. If he could get him over, Ryan would just be able to put the ball in play and give the Packers a 1-run lead. 1-1 is the count. That's it in the air, and Carrison makes the play. Fired down the second. Not in time as LaManna gets back, but not what Ramirez wanted to do as he pops up the bunt. And there for the first out. Now Ryan will come up with one away. He's 0 for 2. Grounded to short in the first and struck out for the first out. Last inning of the fourth. 4-4 the score, bottom of the 5th inning. Here's St. Paul Suburban Conference Baseball on NDC. Swing and a foul straight back, 0-1 again. Next week we'll be back with you. We'll see more of the St. Thomas Cadets.
As they will take on Sibley over at St. Thomas. So join us every Wednesday night at 8:30. Tune on your programming to NDC, your Sports Connection all season long. Eric Johnson doing a great job as he always does. Ken Kane in the truck and the rest of the crew out here giving us the great shots that you folks are enjoying back at home. Glad you're enjoying it as much as I am, and Ken Ottage bringing you all the excitement here on NBC TV 33, everybody.
And hopefully we'll have as good a weather as this for the rest of the season. And we'll see a lot of St. Thomas and Sibley, Simley, and South St. Paul.
And then we'll get a chance to see girls softball as we got a couple of those games going down the line, and it should be quite an interesting season. And hopefully we'll get an opportunity maybe to see some playoff games as we did last year. Brought a couple of playoff games to you folks right to your living room TV sets. And,
another 0-2 pitch. Grounded to third.
nice throw.
Ryan is up on a 5-3 scoring play.
5-3 if you're keeping score at home. 5-3 on that. Keeps the runner still at second base. That's LaManna, the part of the battery, the catcher for the Packers. Packers found it, as we said, Kenny, way back in the first and second inning. 4 runs come across for the Cadets. They find themselves up 4-0, and then, as we said, the dike broke, and 4 runs coming in on the bottom of the 4th inning, trying to move LaManna down another 90 feet, trying to put him into scoring position, or 180 feet if you can get a single through the box.
And Ramirez, going back to the earlier at bat, but that really hurt the Packers there, not being able to get that butt down and get the runner over. Otherwise, that ground ball by Ryan may have had a shot to score the run. But as it is, LaManna still stuck at second base. And now there's 2 outs and a 1-2 count on Horst. Easy play for Carrison for the 3rd out. 1 unassisted. No runs, 1 hit for the Packers. We've completed 5 here in South St. Paul, and it's deadlocked at 4.
Well, at the end of 5 innings, as my cohort, Ken Ottage, to get in the catbird seat, and I don't mean that in a negative way. At the end of 5 innings, it's all tied up. 4 runs, 5 hits, 4 errors for the Packers of South St. Paul. 4 runs and
3 hits. Just 3 hits for the Cadets now.
3 hits and no errors for the Cadets as we go to the top of the 6th inning. High school ball actually is 7 innings, and we'll go on from that point if it's still tied until we come out with a winner here. And as we come back on the air, I just want to say hello to everybody. And as you know, the guy sitting next to me, if you don't know who he is, well, that's your loss in my game. course, that's Ken Honage, everybody. And yours truly, Lou Michaels, as we bring you exciting baseball and girls softball here on NDC, TV 33, your sports connection all season long. Eric likes that because I think it's in tune. And Kenny, he gets a kick out of it, gets a little smile. Kenny, you look as you always do, always ready and doing a good job.
For one with an RBI and a sacrifice fly, and he's going to have to try to get something started against Naza. Fouled it right off his foot. So it's not the Cadets have not had a base runner since back in the third inning when they had 2 walks. But since then, the South St. Paul pitchers have retired 6 in a row here in the last 2 innings. And the Cadets need to get something started here against Naza. Nice play at third by Moon across the diamond. Nice scoop by Coleman for the first out. 5-3 on the scoring play. And there's quickly one away, and the clouds moving in here. And the temperature beginning to drop a little bit. As Lee will step in. Again, Brian Sager started for the Packers, went 4 innings, gave up all 4 runs. And certainly not all of those were earned. In fact, I doubt that you could say that any of them were earned because they all came in after the 3 Packer errors in the first 2 innings. There's strike 2. Again, 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for the Packers. 4 runs, just 3 hits and no errors for St. Thomas. Rupert is on deck. Yeah, Wilhelmy will follow if they can get that far. Top of the 6th inning. And a 1-2 pitch on the way. Another breaking pitch. Hadley out in front. And there's 2 down. 3rd strikeout for Snaza. And he's set down all 5 men that he's faced. Cooper will he have a chance to keep it alive here in the 6th. Low ball 1. And for St. Thomas, Iverson picked up the start. 3 good innings and then got rocked in the 4th. Ended up pitching 3 2/3, gave up 4 runs and 5 hits. And a foul ball there. And Iverson also walking 1 and striking out 4. He had a pretty good performance until he got hit a little bit in the 4th and they had to bring him out. So it's Campion against Snaza right now to try to finish this one out. 4-4 here in the 6th and a 1-1 count on the batter. Cooper takes another off speed for a strike. Snaza again getting ahead of the count, 1-2. And he reaches up, whoops one. That will drop in front of Ramirez for a base hit, so a bloop hit. And the St. Thomas Academy Cadets have their first base runner in quite a while. You know,
Hey, what do you say?
Wilhelmy will try to keep it going here. Sometimes that's the way the rallies start. You get, when you haven't been able to get runners on base, you get a bloop hit like that. And with 2 outs, they can get their rally camps on and if you can string some stuff together here. But Snaza will evidently have none of that as he whips a strike past Wilhelmy once again. Runner on first is Hubert with 2 outs. First base runner against Ted Snaza. Bunt attempt fouled straight back, and it's 0-2. Hooper was on the move that time, trying to get him in the scoring position with 2 away. And Ken Honage, along with Lou Michaels here at McGuire Field, St. Paul Suburban Conference Baseball on NBC. Oh, 0-2 count. Well, again, staying alive at 0-2. Should he reach, it'll flip the lineup over, and Todd Spicer will get a chance. There goes the runner. Pitches outside, throw down by Lamana. Get to the center field. Cooper stumbled, but he will reach into third.
There he is. Come on out.
That's the fourth Packer error of the game. Charge that one to Lamana on an error throw. A stolen base and an error. And suddenly E2 is the call. Allowing the runner to get to third. And now with a base hit, St. Thomas can take the lead. But Wilhelmy frozen on a 1-2 pitch. And no more damage. No runs, one hit for the Cadets in the top of the sixth. Though after 5.5, it's 4-4 right here on NBC. And the Packers will get their chance to try and take the lead here before the 7th inning. If the Packers get one run, they can finish them off here.
You know, it's been really interesting, Kenny, about this whole game, as we alluded to all the way from the very beginning to where we're at right now, going into the bottom of the 6th inning, still tied at 4-4. As we said, the floodgates definitely opened up in the bottom of the 4th inning, allowing 4 runs to come across the plate for the Packers as they found themselves down 4-0. And Iverson was just moving along so smoothly, and then all of a sudden, as we said, the dike broke loose, and 4 runs came across, almost the 5th run, but 4. And as you said, the Cadets almost had a chance to get a run in this top of the 6th inning, but quick play and speed beat it out, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here, all tied up at 4-4. That job will come up for the Packers here in the bottom of the 6th inning as the Packers find themselves tied up with the Cadets 4-4. Nice crowd on hand for the first game of our season right here at McGuire Field. And nice facility. I hear next year that this is really going to change a lot too. I guess they're going to be doing a lot of renovation here at McGuire Field. So
no, it's already nice.
Next year it'll be probably a whole new setup and everything else. Maybe we'll be up in a press box.
Well, you never know.
I don't care myself. I happen to like it out here with the fans. Nice compliment. We'll let you take a look at a little bit without, we've been talking so much already. We're just going to let you watch a little bit of the movement here. Strike 3 and struck him out. So the first batter up. Top, he'll strike out.
That's the first strikeout for Campion.
Campion's been doing a pretty good job in relief, and so has the counterpart for the Packers. So, tell ya.
It's a fair ball. Tough play on the line. Oh, and a nice throw.
Nice play there.
Cooper with a nice
out,
play.
Matt Moon. That was 5-3 on that, if you keep in score. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning, still tied at 4-4.
Brings up Bjerken. St. Thomas played extra innings, I believe, yesterday against Woodbury, and so they've been they may have to go an
Again
extra
today
frame
for
to
another
get
frame
this one. Yep.
here in the ball game here at McGuire Field.
And I tell you, if the pitching continues the way it has been here, and he made the catch.
What a catch!
Lee with a diving grab on his stomach.
Nice catch on that by that young man.
So 1, 2, 3, 6.
Well, we'll take a short break and come back with the final inning here from McGuire Field. The score all tied up at 4-4. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll come back with more right after this. Well, we're back, everybody, and coming up, Spicer will lead off the top of the 7th inning. Still tied up at 4-4, Kenny.
Spicer 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And he needs to get something started here. Again, there's been a constant in every inning that runs have been scored, Lou. Each time that one of these teams has put runners across the plate today, it's been after the lead runner gets on base.
All right, Joey, come on, let's go now.
Nice play by Orion. And Spicer didn't get enough air under that one.
Bachman comes up. He'll be the next batter. Catcher for the Cadets of St. Thomas. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The relief pitchers came in here and have changed the game so drastically from way back in the first and second inning a couple of hours ago. Kenny, boy, I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you, too quick, right down the pipe. Whew.
Oh,
Boy.
Beckman had to crouch there to try to fool the umpire, but took strike 3. It's not just been
2 outs.
been incredible.
Top of the
here.
7th.
Ooh, hit him. So 2-out base runner for the Cadets.
Here comes number 22.
Stolovato will have an opportunity here.
Delvato will come to the plate. Getting some strategy from the battery over there.
Well, they got to figure out what they're going to do with this runner here, because they may try to run him here. See if Swenson can get in the scoring position. Key now is just for Snow to bear down and get the batter. With 2 away here. Oh. And he boots it. So Moon boots it. That's the 5th error for the Packers.
Harrison will be coming to bat here, number 20. Harrison himself, Kenny, how has he been doing this afternoon?
Harrison is 0 for 2. He's walked once and got caught stealing. But now he's got an opportunity here with Swenson at second and Salvato at first. If he can get a base hit here, may have an opportunity to put his team up here with 2 outs. So a hit batsman and a boot at third by Moon and a ball that really should have been played cleanly have given the Cadets an opportunity here with 2 outs. Should end it.
Bang, bang. 5-3. gets out of that inning with a couple of runners on base. Well, at the end of 6.5 innings, it's still all tied at 4-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And as I said, we'll be with you every Wednesday night throughout the baseball season, 8:30 on Wednesday night. So tune in and watch one of your teams here in the Suburban Conference Game of the Week. And then we'll feature some of the high school girls softball coming up. And again, we'll be back next week over at St. Thomas. It'll be St. Thomas and Sibley. Then we'll get a chance to see the cadets again next week. So join us here on TV 33, and we'll bring you all the excitement that NDC offers. So number 19, Mesa. Matt Mesa will come up.
Mason knocked in the tying run back in the 4th inning for the Packers with a base hit. Strike at the knees. Easy play for Spicer for the first out. I'll bring up the first baseman, Coleman. Coleman 0 for 2 with the strikeout and a fly to left. And he takes a strike. Lamanna is on deck. Yeah, 4-4 here in the bottom of the 7th. Strike 2. Campion again doing a very good job here. This is his 3rd complete inning of work. Lost another 3rd. There's a long drive, way foul. Out of play. He got a lot of that one, but he just was ahead of it a little bit.
Two strikes, one away here at the bottom of the 7th inning. Regulation 7 innings here in high school baseball.
Somebody's yard. So Coleman hitting some loud falls. Long throw. Nice play.
Well, it's 2 outs.
Fendling with a nice play there on the backhand stab. And it brings up Lamanna to try to keep it going, get it going here. One, 2 now on Lamanna. And there is. There's a drive towards the gap. That's going to split the gap and go up against the wall. Lamanna will trot into second with a stand-up double. So a runner in scoring position for the Packers that can try to end it here with 2 outs. Like in Coleman in the previous at bat tagged a couple of foul balls off of Campion that time. Lamanna really put some metal into that one. Second double of the game for Lamanna. He's 2 for 4, and now Ramirez will have the opportunity to, with a base hit to win the game for the Packers here. So a big moment here for Louis Ramirez. He is right now, he's 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the 4th, and he's smacks one to short. Throw across the diamond by Fenlon. 6-3 on the putout, and we go to extra innings, tied at 4. Boone. Nice scoop by Coleman for the first out. 5-3 play. Oops. And we'll bring up Lee. Pinch hitter for Lee, that's going to be number 13, Dahlstrom. Inside, ball 1. 1-0 is down low, and it's 2-0. So Dahlstrom replaces Lee in the batting order. Lee finishes 0 for 2, grounded to third in the first, walked in the third, and struck out in the 6th. There's a strike, and its count was a 2-1. Hooper is on deck. There's a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. So Snaza coming right back after falling behind. And the 2-2 delivery. Check swing, strike 3. One around for 3. Singled and scored in the 2nd inning. Struck out in the 3rd and singled in the 6th. Was stranded at 3rd. Ball 1. Now this is his 4th inning of the work. He's worked 3 2/3, giving up no runs, just 1 hit, and he's walked 1. Striking out 6. There's a ground ball to second. Play made there by Toppin. He throws him out. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning for South St. Paul, and we move to the bottom of the 8th. It's still tied at 4. Oh, St. Paul last inning, between Coleman and LaManna, they hit some really hard shots off of Campion, including LaManna's double into the left field gap. So if they can be patient and get him to float some over the plate, they can maybe get something going here as Ryan swings and misses. Ryan again 0 for 3. And he falls right back towards the NBC truck. Oh, that hit somebody's car. Hear the clang of some metal out there. And the line of the pitch. Inside, 2-1. Ground ball is short. Snag there. High throw, got him. So 1 away on the grounder to Fenlon. So now 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 4. Horst the batter now. Horst 0 for 3 as well. Struck out in the 2nd, grounded back to the mound, and grounded to first. There's a high drive to right. That's way back, and it is off the wall.
Boy, that one was almost in the swimming pool over there, Kenny.
That ball was smoked. Again, that's about the 3rd ball we've seen hit like that off of Campion in the last 2 innings. That ball was way off the hill, and so Horst is at second now with 1 away.
We still got a tie ball game here in South St. Paul.
Eric Johnson joining me now as Round Mountain had to take off. Suddenly he's got prior commitments this evening, so he's got to get that car of his checked out.
Yes, he does. Take off in that caddy, and it looks like he's rolling. So here we are, back in action there, Kenny.
We'll see if his car falls apart as he drives down.
Well, I
down
think
the
he
street
did
here.
avoid some of those foul balls today, so that was good.
That was the key there.
I think so. Yeah, he's rolling. Well, back to
Now
action
the-
here at South St. Paul.
Free pass for Top. As the Cuts want to set up the double play here.
Who do we have on battered
That's
right
going to
now,
bring
Ken?
up Moon. Moon having an excellent day. He's 2 for 3, and he's scored a run and he's knocked in 2. So fly ball to center.
That's
See
a
if Horst
popper.
will tag.
You gonna get it?
He will, but he'll bluff going to third. But now there are 2 away. Fly to center. As Wilhelm made the catch, and so first
We
and
got
second
2
now with 2
outs.
outs, and Birkin will have to try to do some damage here. And
Yeah, we got a nice breeze here, Kenny. We couldn't have asked for better weather on a day like today.
no,
This
not
is
at all.
ball
Not at
weather.
all.
This is ball game weather.
Temperature dropping a little bit with the clouds moving in, but other than that, it's been a fine afternoon.
Absolutely.
There's a strike at the knees. Birkin, the lone sophomore on the club here.
Yeah, he's an up-and-comer. He's got a few years ahead of him. And it looks like
Ground ball, it's just foul outside
and
of
he steals
third.
a base there, but
Runners were on the move.
it looks like he's back there again.
So 0-2 now the count. And Campion trying to work out of a jam here and get his team to the 9th. Horst at second.
We got number 12 up to bat.
And Moon over at first. Both runners get their leads.
Okay, and he's good.
In the dirt, and both runners will advance. So now a base hit will win the game for the Packers. And the
This
count at 1-2 on Birkin.
This is a very crucial point in the game, Kenny. You know, up until now, it's been pretty exciting, pretty evenly matched game, wouldn't you say?
Last few innings, the pitching has done a very good job now. That one, though, was in the dirt.
Well, it all comes down to number 12. Is he going to do it or not?
Hooper will hold on Horst at third. Here's the 1-2. On and foul. So Birkin stays alive at 1-2. Base hit here will bring a run home and win the game. Horst.
But at this point, anything can happen, Ken.
That's right.
I'm sure you've seen many games that your guess is as good as mine.
Campion just needs to get Birkin here any way he can, and he's got the edge on him right now with a 1-2 strike count. Horst standing at third. There's a drive down the field line. It's over the head and off the wall. Horst steps on the plate. A single down the line for Birkin and an RBI. His third of the game.
That's the end of the game. That wraps it up there, Kenny.
Horst
Well, now
scores.
let's have a recap. What do you think?
1 run on 2 hits in the inning. And the final score, 5-4 Packers. And the winner will be Snaza. That's his first of the year. And Campion tagged with the loss. And some problems. Campion had some hard shots hit off him. Gave up 3 doubles in the last 2 innings. And St. Thomas snake bitten again. They fall to 0-3. St. Thomas, or South St. Paul, pardon me, gets their first win of the year, and they are 1-2.
But this was a heck of a game. You got to admit, Kenny, it was very exciting towards the latter part of the game.
good pitching all the way around. After we thought we might have a shootout there.
So let's have a brief recap here, Ken. Can you tell us what happened again, just for the viewers at home to recount just what happened today in this game?
So again, well, it was St. Thomas jumping out early, capitalizing on South St. Paul mistakes, and they had 2 runs in the first off of 2 errors, and another error brought in 2 more in the second, and they were up 4-0, and cruising along as Iverson pitched very well. But South St. Paul opened the floodgates in the 4th after a leadoff walk, and then 4 straight singles brought in 4 runs and tied the score at 4, and that's the way it remained after good relief pitching for both teams in the 5th through the 7th innings, and then Ted Snaza, who ends up being the winning pitcher, stuffs the Cadets in the top of the 8th, and some clutch hits with 2 outs, and a couple runners on for South St. Paul, and Bjerken coming up with a big hit and gives his club the first win of the season.
Well, very good, Ken. Again, I'd like to thank everyone, and make sure you tune in to Game of the Week every Wednesday at 8:30 on Channel 33. And for the Round Mountain Sports Sound, not yours truly, for Ken Onich, this has been a good game, and I'll let you wrap it up here, Ken.
All right, well, thanks, Eric Johnson, and of course we appreciate all the hard work that you and everybody else we have here does. They do a great job, and we're glad that we can bring it to you again next week. Join us as we're at St. Thomas Academy as they'll host the Sibley Warriors. So for the Round Mountain Sports Sound, and for Eric Johnson and for everybody else here, and I'm Ken Onich, and thanks for watching, folks. Again, this final score, South St. Paul 5 and St. Thomas 4 in a final in extra innings. An exciting game, and we'll have more exciting baseball for you all season long here on NDC. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Keep it tuned right here.